I'm not even gonna lie to you guys. This is the main reason why I've been shooting Dynamic Saturday. This damn game. But alright, man, let's get some Dynamic Saturday started. Shooting something real quick, man, for October. Kind of funny how everything goes full circle. I started in my earlier episodes doing my October shots, man, and that's what kind of gave birth to Dynamic Saturday. Just kind of having all these little tournaments running, and me wanted to shoot as many shots as possible. And now I'm here on episode 10 doing the same thing all over again. You know, really appreciate all of you that have been rocking with me since that time. And let's get October started. Still on my quest to shoot every single figure I own, man. I can finally cross Krillin off my list, man. Overall thoughts on this figure? He's a dope figure, man. Definitely a great addition to the Dragon Ball Z line and the Z Fighters. I like that he's double jointed elbows, double jointed knees. Because that Gotenks is not, man. I don't know if it's because it's on the old body mold. I think Gotenks is a 2.0 and Krillin is a 3.0. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. But yeah, man. Ideally, this guy is way better articulated than that Gotenks. The only downfall, in my opinion, is those knee pads, man. They keep falling off. They just fall off, man. I don't know if this figures was made in Vietnam or something, or if it's just a quality issue. But both my knee pads for Krillin just keep falling off. For the first day of October this year, man, the concept was back to formula. And I kind of wanted to show off Goku and Krillin, kind of taking it back to their roots, man, as they kind of spar in front of the Kami House as old times, as they used to do in Dragon Ball. Kind of use these waves in the bottom to kind of represent the ocean in front of them as they try to spar. Ideally, I kind of wanted them to be kind of like, levitating or flying as they fought, but hey, this is good enough for me, man. I did see a lot of people do like Wiz and Goku and Vegeta, which is cool, man. Yeah, like they could be doing the basics, but to me, bringing it back to the basics is back to the original rival, Krillin. And I think it's a really cool concept, man, of seeing kind of Goku kind of revisit his basics and martial arts and kind of, you know, bring his rivalry back that started in Dragon Ball. Overall, the shot was pretty simple, man. Just kind of wanted to keep it, minimalistic, a little bit of props, kind of basic on the lighting. They used this little white sheet of paper to kind of bounce off the light and just trying to really focus on the posing, man. I mean, you can't really tell because I shot it pretty low, but I really have kind of Goku kind of leaning forward and really, you can feel the impact of, Krillin's kick and just trying to really sell the image with the posing right here. Let me know what you guys think. But yeah, man, bringing it back to the basics, getting Goku versus Krillin. Let's go ahead and keep moving through October. I won't be able to do all the shots, man, just because I'm a little busy. But I'm cherry picking, we'll see what else I do in the episode. Finally coming around to cracking open this Hawks, man. I had him on ice for quite a minute now. Didn't really have any ideas for him or any shots for him, but October came around and I got a little bit of a few things cooking, so I might use them for something simple. But yeah, overall, quick thoughts on the figure, man. Those wings are fucking amazing. I'm not even gonna cap right now. I'm not even gonna lie. The whole thing is just really great. I love those wings, man. If any company comes close to Rebel Tech wings, they're definitely on the right direction. Only nitpick with this figure is that the pegs on the feathers, the effect for the feathers was way too small, and the holes on the wings was way too big. So they're definitely loose. They can't really stand up when you're trying to get an effect on them. But I try to make it work. And yeah, man, that's about it. This figure's freaking fun. What else can I say? Another great addition to My Hero Academia line by Rebel Tech. Definitely killing it in that line. All right, guys, let's get some shots going.
Nice.
Alright guys, that was a package from Walmart.com, and pretty much this is the most anticipated Marvel Legends of 2023, man. I finally got Bucky Cap, at least for me. And man, am I really happy about this figure. If you guys are new to the channel, I don't usually do reviews. I kind of do just little in-between segments between my displays where I kind of go over some figures. You know, I like to call them a little bit of an overview, and I like to pretty much just kind of go through the pros, the cons on the figure, and kind of my overall opinion on the specific figure. So yeah, man, let's get into this Bucky Cap. And what can I say, man? I am a little biased just because I am a big fan of Edward Baker's run on Captain America, the Alex Ross design, and pretty much this looks like an Alex Ross design in plastic form. So let's get into the pros first. Alright guys, let's get into the pros for this figure. Ideally, the main kind of thing that draws your eyes is that paint, man. As I mentioned before, the Alex Ross design really makes it pop in plastic form, and it's probably one of the best paints I've ever seen on a Marvel Legends figure, man. And maybe it's my bias with the character and I just love the glossy design on him, but I think the Legends team definitely killed it with this paint job. And I have to take my, tip my hat off to the Legends team. The way the light reflects off of it, man, just as a photographer myself, I really love that idea of how the light just kind of bounces off this character and it just kind of gives this almost um I don't know how to explain, like surreal look that you would really find in the comics when you were reading those Edward Baker pages and him just taking on Crossbones or the Serpent Society. Just the way that it was represented on paper really translates really well to plastic. And what else can I say, man? Another real cool thing is that it's a pretty accurate figure, man. I like that they kind of went with the more like opaque colors on the shield. You know, it's not like those light blue colors that you would expect from a Legends Captain America. Those are pretty accurate to the comic book as well, where it's a dark blue and more of a pearlized white silver for the shield and the design. They also even added the design on the shoulders, man. The stars are there, which what else can you complain about, man? The sculpting on the belt is really great. Just that the overall design of the suit is awesome. They did really great work with the little wings on the head, and just the overall design is awesome. The glossy on the boots, the glossy on the red gloves. Overall, they really killed it, man. And it's the bulk and body, so you guys already know I love my articulation, and this thing articulates pretty damn well. It is a little hard when you kind of try to move the figure, but that might just be mine, man. But overall, this figure just is imposing on any photographer or on any shelf. I can't wait to have them with display with my new Avengers and just kind of an overall heroic age, pretty much Secret Invasion, Fear itself, all these events. This guy was kind of the main Captain America. Now on to the cons on this figure, man. They're not really cons, and to be honest, it's more like well, there's two major ones, and then the other ones are more of nitpicks in my opinion. Now the two major issues I have with this figure, man, is the gun it came with and the head sculpt. I actually replaced the gray gummy gun. I don't really have it close to me right now, but pretty much essentially the gun that it came with, it was more like a sci-fi gunman, and it doesn't fall in with the design of the character. Originally, I think it came with, I forgot what it's called, but it was a type of World War II weapon that you see a lot in Winter Soldier art, and then also the other option was to have like a silver pistol. I'm not a gun guy, so I can't tell you exactly what the gun was, but it was definitely not that great one it came with. And essentially, I kind of replaced it with a Valaverse weapon, man, and I think it looks pretty good. It looks pretty close. It really, resembles the paint on the character, just because it is almost like a glossy silver on that pistol, and pretty much he kind of has this glossy design around them. The other thing that was kind of a big issue for me was the head sculpt, man. Something is just off. It's not a bad head sculpt, but it's not a perfect head sculpt. And I was really hoping for this figure to come out just amazing, man. I guess you can call it a nitpick, but just I don't know, something about that head sculpt does not scream out, Bucky to me. Maybe just the sculpting is something off. I don't know. Ideally, I kind of wish something was different about that head sculpt. I can't really pinpoint exactly what it is on mine. Something that also that sucks, but is mainly just probably just on mine. Yes, is that mine came with like a paint imperfection. It does bug me a little bit, but hey, it's not a big deal, I guess. Now, as far as the nitpicks goes, it's like they use the same knife as they've always been using for Marvel Legends. For some reason, that thing just starts to lose paint right away on the handle. They're still using those horrible clips on the shield. The size of the shield, while it is a little bigger than usual, man, it's still not big enough. And yeah, man, that's kind of mainly the only nitpicks I really have for this character, man. So overall, it's a great figure. Like I said, I'm biased to it. I was super excited to have it. I'm just glad for it to be part of my collection. So let's go ahead and get this bad boy into some shots. Finally getting around to shooting another OcTOYber little setup right here, man. This is for, I believe it's day 4, I want to say. I'm not sure, man, but it's the big 3. It's the kind of concept for this day. As I mentioned before, I'm not shooting every day, man, just because I don't really have the time this year. But the ones I do have ideas for that I kind of been cooking already for a while, cooking up in my head, I think I can shoot them real quick. And this was one of them, man, a simpler shot. And I'm finally getting around to shooting this Bucky cap. But yeah, man, a little quick setup, a little inspiration from Ed Brubaker's run. A little bit of the big 3 from his run right here. I'm still super impressed by the way this Bucky cap came out, man. That's one of my favorite suits, of any Captain America. I think the way the light just shines off it, the metallic look, man, is straight out of the comics, straight out of a Steve Epting's art. Just kind of full metallic, because the suit is meant to be bulletproof, man. So that's where the little metallic shine comes from, and the way the metallic works on the shield with the darker blue, man. That's all straight from his art in the Ed Brubaker's run. And I think this figure is definitely a literal representation of his art in plastic form. I know that gets thrown around a lot, man, but I genuinely believe that on this figure. Like, this thing is amazing. All right, guys. So the overall setup was kind of pretty simple. I really wanted to kind of give off that almost poster-like kind of cover for a comic book, man. And I really try to get a lot of inspiration mainly from Steve Epting, who was the main kind of artist for this run. A lot of his classic covers of Bucky Cap is him on the eagle, which, I have the Mayflex eagle down there, the yellowish background, all of them 3 together, kind of, as I said, doing this kind of poster kind of pose. I kind of made sure that the foot was, flush in the eagle. It's all about the little details, man, and really try to kind of give the sense of almost like a comic book cover right here. A couple of yellow lights, a couple of lights down here to represent the street lights, and just kind of the general setup was right here. A few things in the background to give depth. You guys know the setup, you guys know the backgrounds. But if you guys really want to, create depth with a monitor, man, always try to match the light that the monitor is giving off to the lights that you have around the figures. I think that's my biggest kind of, tip I can give you guys. Always try to match the lights, because if the lights don't match, the shot just looks completely off and just odd. But yeah, man, that's the general idea for this shot. Real quick, guys, by the time I'm recording this, October is already over. Unfortunately, I did have a few things going on in life that I just wasn't able to finish the 30 days. I didn't even get halfway through it. I believe I was kind of cherry picking here and there. But unfortunately, it's already November by the time I'm recording this. But I didn't want to let the ideas I had cooked up in my head for October go to waste. And I think I'm gonna complete the themes in my own little pace through this episode, man, and just kind of have fun with it. So I'm here just completing the themes I already had planned, and this is right here is a good guy for once. And yeah, let's keep going with these shots. Now, breaking the shot down real quick, man. Ideally, the main inspiration behind this shot was the Arkham games. There was multiple times in the Arkham game when like Catwoman kind of was involved, and she kind of comes in to save Batman. And she's mainly portrayed as she's mainly portrayed as an anti-hero, but the idea here was to kind of represent a character that's not usually doing heroics, kind of doing something heroic. And that's what I kind of wanted to represent here with Catwoman. As far as the light source go, I kind of try to build two orange lights, one right here, right in the front, and one on the other side, to kind of give the illusion of like a burning building from left to right, and try to have them kind of escape the burning building. They're kind of trying to escape through the roof. Have the two key lights on top to kind of outline the characters. Then I did a little bit of staging with these two dial pieces, although I didn't try to incorporate the clock as much just because it is super recognizable by mostly a lot of people that shoot this clock, man. So I just kind of wanted to put in just half of it into the frame to represent almost like a little bit of staging of the buildings themselves. Originally I did use, I believe, a NECA dial, try to recreate the idea of them burning kind of inside a building, but overall, man, it was too orange. The NECA dial was a whole mess trying to just creating this whole orange hue all around the shot, which I wasn't really appreciating. So I eventually went with this general idea of more white light and a little bit of orange in the background. Finally getting around to opening the rest of my Cobra Army builders. I actually opened them in anticipation for the Histack, man. We've been getting a few emails letting us know to update our address from HasLab, and just it should be shipping either late November or early December. I'm definitely excited for that, man. I actually picked up two of those. I originally wanted to keep both of them, but things change over the year, man. Space is limited, so think I'm going to go ahead and sell one and keep one. But yep, over here cracking open the rest of my Cobra Army builders real quick. I had actually already opened the Alley Vipers, at least one of them earlier this year, man. It was the first one before I got the rest of them in. But the new guys actually got to handle those regular Cobra Vipers, man. They're from the 3-pack, I believe. They actually came with this officer. I apologize for the messy desk, but yeah, they came with this officer as well, which I like, man. I really enjoy these figures. I guess quick impressions is they're really dope. They're fun to play with. All the accessories they come with are really great. My only issue really is the fact that they can't have like their gloves removed. Like I believe the Cobra Island original ones were. I don't know if I need to heat them up or anything or pop them off. I popped off the hands already, but I couldn't pop off the rest of the gloves. So I don't know what that was about. If you guys know, let me know. But I try to kind of, as far as GI Joe goes, though, man, these guys are super loose. Not just the Cobra Vipers, but every single one I've got to mess around has gone loose on me around the legs. I don't know if they still haven't really mastered the drop down method. I did snap two of them. I snapped my, I believe it was my Spirit, and I can't believe the other guy's name, the one with the motorcycle, Breaker, I think his name was. Yeah, I snapped both of their legs, man, and it just kind of sucks that these guys have those kind of QC issues, and that these guys get loose, even though they're super fun to play with figures. Overall, I'm having fun with these figures, man. Um, even though they are a little difficult to pose, I think that's why you don't see a lot of people taking pictures of Joes. At least I personally don't. Kind of notice that a lot of people, only seeing like two people on my feed on Instagram that really shoot Joes, or on Facebook. It's really rare for me to see Joes. I guess they don't really do good in the algorithm. And I don't know, man. Maybe it's just me, but I wanted to kind of just shoot a little bit of Joes. Like I said, even though they're super difficult to post, man, just because of how loose they are, especially when you get them in large crowds, they just difficult to stand. Even shooting large crowds, man, just generally in toy photography, it's difficult trying to get that done because you don't really get the light distributed evenly. At least for me, it's difficult for me to get them distributed like evenly. Then yeah, that's about it, man.
Nice.
All right, guys, real quick. I got a few pickups for this week. I did pick up most of this stuff on sale, man. Shout out to Pac for letting me know that Target was having that 2-pack and like the Sky Cycle sale. I was able to pick up the Scrap Iron right away. I think for the Hawkeye, I had to come back around twice just because my Target kind of sucks, man. My local Target never puts anything on sale. And then the first time I came around looking for this Hawkeye, he wasn't on sale. The second time I was able to get him, let's say for $25. I might be wrong. And then I was able to pick these guys up on Amazon, man. I want to say for 25 also, maybe 15. And I mainly picked up the Oni Masked Ninjas from the GI Joe line just because I saw somebody online, especially specifically on Instagram, do a pretty cool shot with them, Naruto and Sasuke. So I can't remember exactly who it was. If you guys are watching this video, you know who it was. Leave it in the comments below. But yeah, somebody did a badass shot and kind of convinced me to pick these guys up as some goons, man. So yeah, let's get into it. Yeah, so first up we got the Hawkeye right here, man. I like it. I'm not gonna lie, man. It is a pretty cool Marvel Legends. You know, it's pretty simple. Nothing too out of like too extraordinary about it. I do have a few complaints about it. I think one of the main complaints I really had was that he didn't come with any type of way to hold his arrow. I had to take an X-Acto knife. You guys can see right here. Go ahead and try to move this stuff behind the camera. I had to grab an X-Acto knife and kind of like set up like a little cut in his finger for him to hold his arrow. As you guys can see, he has a little cut like right there to be able to hold his arrow. Another issue I had with them is that for some reason the plastic has been super stiff on Marvel Legends lately, man. I don't know if you guys, any of you have noticed. But yeah, a lot of the plastic has been super stiff for these guys, and like I don't know if it's something going on around, but yeah, man, it's just kind of sucks that they've gone stiffer. I'm not complaining about the joints being stiff. It's just the plastic overall. It just feels a little too, as I was mentioning, man, yeah, the hard plastic has really been an issue for this figure. Mainly, it articulates fine, just the standard Marvel Legends. Yeah, it has a little bit of a little bit of reuse with the arrows, and I believe it's called the quill and the bow. But I think the biggest issue, and I was talking to Omar, man, on Instagram, and he kind of let me know that because he got the figure before me, and he kind of let me know that the figure has some QC issues due to this hard plastic, man. Like let me show you guys. Like when you bend the knee, if you guys can see, you see how there's that bend and it looks like there's a disconnection between the boot and the shin. Like that's a big issue for me. It's so hard to bend the knee, and it kind of sucks, man. And that's probably the biggest issue this figure has. Those knees are really horrible, man. But yeah, other than that, I don't think I've seen a lot of people talk about it. As I said, I was talking to Omar. He got the figure before me. I was kind of excited for it, and he kind of let me know that there was that little bit of a QC issue for this guy. And then the Sky Cycle, man. The Sky Cycle is just, what can I say? Pretty great, man. I have no complaints about this Sky Cycle. They really did a great job with this sculpt. Alright, guys. Up next is Scrap Iron from the Joe line. I have nothing much to say about this figure, man. It's just standard Joe, great articulation. It feels a little better in quality compared to other Joes as they used to be in the beginning. But the main reason I got this figure is just the effects, man. For 25 bucks, you get all these great effects, all these badass effects. Like it has a lot of like a photography kind of possibilities, and you get a pretty cool draw, man, with some badass missile effects that you can use with different things. I mean, what else can you say? Pretty excited, I'm pretty happy with this one, right? All right, guys, and finally we have the two pack. Probably my favorite two pack I've opened in a while, man. These guys are awesome. If you guys know it, they're the standard ninjas for Cobra. I didn't never really cared for the standard ninja look, man. But when they include this Omni mask, I can't go wrong with these, man. These things are great. As I said before, I mainly got them just to be like random goons for like different characters. But all the stuff they can carry, man, all the weapons they come with, like just the articulation on them, like these guys, they are like the quality feels better than most Joes. Like even better than like Snake Eyes, or like even their I just dropped there, but even better than their Storm Shadow too. These guys are just awesome, man, and their postability is crazy. All the weapons they come with, definitely worth the $15 kind of sell. 20, I think it was 25 bucks, sorry, not 15. But yeah, like these guys are just fun figures, man. Those masks are awesome. I really want to use them as like enemy ninja for Sasuke or Naruto from like a different nation, and they fit in right into that world. So that's kind of the main reason I got them. But yeah, man, I want to get at least 3 more packs, maybe have a total of 9, right? That would be 9, or maybe 6. Yeah, that would be a total of 9. So I kind of want 9, at least maybe 10, just to have an even number. But yeah, man, these guys are freaking awesome. I mean, nothing else I can really say. I guess one complaint I might have about this is that the girl right here, the female ninja, comes with like a single jointed elbow, which sucks, man. You guys, I know I'm an articulation snob, but other than that, just the mere look and the mere amount of accessories they come with, they're definitely worth the price. So yeah, man, let's get some of these guys in some shots and see how it goes. Shooting something real quick right here, something really, contained, cropped, simple, nothing crazy with the lighting. Try to really focus on the posing here, give Kappa a white stand, and just kind of, make sure all of their foots are planted and everything. Another thing, if you guys have noticed that most of my shots have been really warm lighting lately, is because apparently I found out that every damn artist in modern comics, when they're drawing New York, city skyline or anything like that, they love to do their sunsets and sunrises, man. It's really hard for me to get a good like wide shot of New York without it being a sunset or a sunrise. So I guess that's the main reason why I've really been focusing on yellow lighting lately. This is really, Art Mightiest Heroes inspired cartoon, man. I really enjoyed that cartoon. So it's a shame that they canceled it. I don't know what's up with every Marvel cartoon, kind of, or even every superhero cartoon, man. Anything from the animated series, Justice League Unlimited, Avengers or Mightiest Heroes, Spider Man, Spectacular Spider Man, I think it was, all getting canceled for some reason to bring in different stuff. But overall, man, main inspiration, what's like I mentioned, are its Mightiest Heroes and a few comic book. You usually see kind of Hawkeye really looking up to Captain America, and yeah, man, I'm really enjoying this Hawkeye. Definitely worth the price that I paid. Alright, guys, quick checking. About to head to the post office to ship out my Berserk, the final parts of my Berserk collection, man. I finally sold the Black Swordsman. Prior in the year, I had sold all of my God Hand, Famto, the Berserker armor, and the Band of the Hawk guts. The only one I was missing was Casca to have a complete collection, man. But I don't feel any type of way kind of getting rid of them now, knowing that, the SHF is getting into Berserk. Those figures are going to be awesome. And I already have guts in my pile of loot, man. So waiting, impatiently for that new guts from SHF. Also sold some 1.0 Mythic Legions, so I'm gonna get rid of those two, man, especially because those new Articulated Knights are coming in. I might jump in on them, but mainly right now I'm just trying to thin my collection and kind of, just complete that whole cycle of kind of having your own collection, fund your new figures, man. So yeah, about to head out to the post office. See you guys in a bit. Alright guys, real quick, as you guys saw, I did hit a few Walmarts and a few Targets looking for some specific stuff. I wasn't able to find too much stuff that I did want, but I did kind of run into this Ezra Bridger, man. I've been wanting this guy for a minute. I am not super proud of paying full price for him, but before I get into him, let's go ahead and get into a few things I saw. Alright guys, real quick. So the first figures that caught my eye on that Target was those Naruto Uzumaki from SHF. What can I say, man? Usually we don't get any SHF figures around my Target. We don't really, at least I don't really see those. They usually get snagged up pretty quick on my local Targets. The Target that we went to was one that was a little further, which was a little more stacked. So they had like six of those guys, man. And ideally, I just told myself that I wasn't gonna pick them up because we were there to mainly shop for like, holiday shopping for the family and stuff. You know how it goes. So I kind of decided not to pick them up, man. But later in the week, I actually decided to, get the Sasuke. So, the Sasuke's on the way, and I kind of went back to try to get those Naruto, at least to pick up three, man, because I would ideally want three of those guys. But it turns out that now they're gone. So, yeah, man, I kind of missed out on those. But those were kind of the first things that really caught my eye. Now, another set of figures that really caught my attention were those classified figures, man. Not enough to pick him up right away. I am interested in that General Hawks, but I'm just don't not in a hurry to pick him up, at least not right now. I also saw some McFarlane, man, and those guys impressed me surprisingly. I don't know why people love to shit on McFarlane, man. Like I don't mainly collect McFarlane. I just usually do the mega figs, but that's Sinestro, man. That thing looks nice. The sculpt, the texture on it. I was really tempted, as you guys saw, and like that thing was just freaking badass, man. I mean, what else can you ask for in Sinestro? He is meant to be 7 feet, 7 feet. Sorry, so I think he'll fit in right in with anything from Mesco to other lines for DC, your Mayfix. I think that Sinestro looks really, really great. Some more lines I saw out there. The Masters of the Universe, man. I saw that He-Man, and oof, was I also tempted to pick that guy up, man. I really want a He-Man. Ideally, I just want to pick up He-Man and Skeletor, man. I'm not the biggest Motu fan, but I'm just a fan. I remember watching it a little bit as a kid, so I just kind of want the main two to be in my collection. And I don't remember from what line exactly that He-Man is that I saw, but I remember Boncho once recommended it to me for $11, and I never picked it up. So seeing it in person kind of really, really, interested me. The legends were weak as usual. I mean, whatever Target I go to usually have a weak selection of legends. But then again, the waves have kind of been weak all this year, so what can you say? But yeah, man, I mean, that's kind of the main thing I kind of saw. And finally, but not least, I paid full price for a Black Series figure. I'm not proud of it, man, but I did need Ezra Bridger to complete my Rebels crew. Funny thing is, I actually got this guy a few days after I recorded, man. The one time I forget to record, I find the figure I'm looking for. I went back to, pick up a little more gifts and stuff like that, but I was able to find around six of these guys at Walmart, man. I don't know if they're sending out like full cases of them now, because I know he was the more rare figure to find initially. So as soon as I saw him, I snagged him up. Quick thoughts on it. I like the elbows, man. Even though they're single jointed, as you guys can see right here, they're a little deeper than usual. You see on Black Series. Um, no ab crunch, man. They kind of decided to only go with that ball joint at the waist, which in my opinion sucks. Doesn't give enough range, but it is what it is, man. The head sculpt is pretty good actually. I love the face printing on it is really great. The only issue is that I kind of wish it was the bald, buzz cut look for Ezra originally from the series. But I understand they're trying to make it look a little more like the actor. But other than that, man, I'm pretty happy with the figure. I guess another thing is that the armor on the top really hinders the butterfly joint, but it's not that big of a deal, man. I'm still enjoying this fig and finally have a complete Rebels crew. So yeah, let's move on. All right, guys, real quick. That was a package from Aaron Figures on Instagram. You guys don't follow him yet, go ahead and give him a follow. He hit me up with a pretty great deal with this orange piccolo, man. I actually missed out on the pre-order for this guy. And to be honest, man, I lagged. I was lagging on him, thinking I was gonna get him later. Thinking that, not a lot of people were interested on old Piccolo right here, man. But apparently, this guy sold out pretty quick once he was out. So once again, shout out to Aaron. He hooked me up. He really gave me a great price. He does great figure photography. I'm gonna drop a link to his Instagram in the description. You guys want to check him out? I've been following him for quite a while. I'm really enjoying his pictures, man. But yeah, thanks to him. I also never really went over the Beast Gohan with you guys, man. So I'm gonna do that real quick as well. And all right, guys, real quick, let's go ahead and get into it. Let's start with Beast Gohan. I know you guys have probably seen a few reviews of him already, so I won't get too much into detail. I just kind of want to give my opinion real quick. Originally, I wasn't the biggest fan of the design, man. When I first saw it, I thought it was a little too hyper stylized, in my opinion. I think Toriyama had kind of gone a little overboard, which he did mention in his notes for the movie, man, that he wanted the whole reason for the name Beast is that he wanted him to be kind of this over exaggerated design for Gohan to kind of exemplify real power in him, and kind of him unleashing his kind of both human and like Saiyan forms kind of fused into one thing to make his own thing. But at first I wasn't the biggest fan, man. Once I saw the movie though, I completely did a 360, man. I fell in love with the design. I love how the key works, how it makes it different both from the Super Saiyan God form and Super Saiyan Blue form, and it kind of gave him something unique. Now, as far as for the design of the figure, man, it is still using the same mold as the original superhero Gohan, which I loved. I think the hands moved a little, they moved okay, but the thing is, here in my opinion, I think they definitely updated the arms. I think I mentioned in my last video, or the video where I showed that Gohan off, that the Gohan kind of had a weird ball, where the ball joint connected into for the arms. It was at a weird spot in the figure, man. And in this one, I think the arms feel just way more natural when moving. They're not as hindered, in my opinion. And I don't know how people were mentioning that the rubber overlay for the torso, which is kind of the big difference here, was kind of hindering the articulation, man. But in my opinion, it doesn't hinder articulation anyway. He's able to articulate really well, still hit all those movements, hit all those poses. And my only issue, I guess I could say, um, as I'm pretty sure you guys have heard about, is the whole faceplate. It tends to kind of pretty much detach from the figure every time you try to move the head. That's kind of my only big gripe. But other than that, man, I think the figure is definitely an upgrade from the original. Even though it looks like it's mostly the original Buck, they definitely updated those arms just better, feel much more comfortable to move. And I think they pretty much, the whole torn design is really awesome. And I think we need a little bit of more in that in Dragon Ball. Give me more torn gi designs for these characters. All right, guys, now moving on to Orange Piccolo. What can I say, man? I have a Dragon Ball bias, I guess, especially anything Dragon Ball, and Piccolo is a near perfect figure in my opinion, man. Nothing like he's been feeling lately with the the Vietnam, or and the you don't want to be the Vietnam factories, but just the quality of SHF has been kind of a little bit low lately. And but this guy just feels great, man. Like, this guy's just articulated amazingly for such a big figure. Like, the way they were able to impose like a new height on him, and it's just, I don't know, man. Like, his whole quality, his articulation. This guy feels like a real premium figure, man. The SHF line is meant to be a premium line, but nothing feels as premium, in my opinion, lately as this Piccolo. The last time I felt like this about a character or a figure from the SHF line, that was literally the Super Saiyan 4 Goku. And this guy's just great, man. I have no complaints. He has a good amount of heads, a good amount of hands. Even comes with an extra piece. I know everybody was complaining about the whole DLC through the whole superhero line. But this guy's just, I don't know, man. Maybe it's my bias from the movie. I really liked this new form. It was about time they gave Piccolo a new form, and then, just him coming out of the hole, with Shenron, and Gamma 2 kind of trying to, impact them, and him just kind of just showing that he is finally again, what's the word? He's again uh what's the word? The word I was looking for, guys, is relevant. They made them relevant again, and it's just exciting to see where Dragon Ball is going. And this figure is just amazing, man. I can't get over the fact of, like, the quality on him. He doesn't feel loose. There goes the head, but that's the new kind of way of popping on the head for these big guys. But they don't. He doesn't feel loose, but he doesn't feel like hard either or like cheap, if that makes sense. Like this guy's just, I don't know. I feel like every SHF character should strive to like try to get this kind of this design, man. Try to get to this kind of, you know. Got a little quick shot right here, something simple with orange piccolo. It's been kind of a theme around this episode, man. A lot of yellow and orange going around. But yeah, man, as I said before, this figure's just fun. It's just pretty straightforward. It's just a straight fun figure, man. Fun factor all around. As far as the shot goes, I kind of wanted to use the same background I used a few episodes back from straight from the superhero movie, man, where it's kind of the red ribbon base. And I kind of wanted to recreate the shot where Gamma 2 throws a punch at Piccolo and he kind of doesn't even flinch. Ideally, I kind of wanted to do a follow up shot where he's just knocking him out, man, but I don't know. I just felt that a lot of people just kind of did that second shot. They didn't want to, step on anybody's toes or anything like that. So I was pretty satisfied with this one. I don't know. I guess this picture didn't get that well of a reception on Instagram. I guess it was a little simple, a little too simple for people. But I enjoyed it, man. Try to kind of give the idea that the punch is being thrown. There's impact on the floor. I kind of would have preferred the or fire effects to be a little more orange, but unfortunately, I don't have any really orange kind of key or just energy effects. So that's the best I could work with. But the one thing I really did enjoy about the shot was the lighting. The lighting for sure definitely shined in this shot, and just how imposing is Piccolo, man. Just this extra height on him really brings out the new transformation on him, and just the way the orange, the yellow, the purples look. Everything's really great. Another thing that I had a few episodes back, man, these gammas are probably some of the most fun, well articulated, and just high quality figures SHF has brought out in a while, man. People really slept on these. Even if you didn't like the character from the movie, man, the figure itself is just a kind of a masterpiece, in my opinion. A lot of people are sleeping on these figures. I don't know how much they're going for in the aftermarket, but a lot of people slept on them, man.